Hello and welcome to my channel, Magic Meets Masculinity. My name is Richard. So this will be a rather shorter video for the day, and it's going to be over a topic that I actually think is very, very important to not just your magical ability, but the perspective on how you have throughout life. And what that is gratefulness. Having this perspective will make those harder days be a lot easier. And the universe will recognize it. And it creates, when you go through the world with a grateful mindset, it creates this positive feedback loop. So if you're more grateful, then the universe is gonna be more willing to give you gifts, or work with your magical operations to get the best results, right? I think Christianity had a very good understanding of this. And the example that I bring up is praying when you are about to eat. Being grateful to God for the food that you were given and the fact that you're able to eat that day will create that positive feedback loop and make your life more bountiful in that kind of way. And that kind of philosophy can be an overreach for everything in life, right? So if you're just walking down the street and you're grateful for, the barista smiling at you, and you're grateful that it didn't rain so hard that day when you had to go to work, it makes things a little bit easier on you for not just life in general, but for your soul. And even in myself, in the line of work I do, working with the homeless, one of the things that I come home to is I'm so grateful to be able to lay down in a bed in a warm room and know I'm not going to get robbed for just sleeping, because I have some form of protection. And I believe this is very important to have, especially now as a man, because it seems like if the media wants to attack you every which way and right for, I guess, the sins of the fathers, alleged sins of the fathers, everything you do is wrong. Men are not growing up. Your loneliness doesn't mean anything. You're constantly being pushed this narrative that your life really doesn't matter. And in society, in a way, has kind of always viewed it that way. Generally, a man is only as valuable as if he's producing something. If you're not producing something, nobody cares. And that's true. And it's very, very true. But as you're more grateful, you start producing more things. And especially when you put a magical practice to use with that. And you don't even have to be grateful for big things. Just be grateful that, you get to go to work today. It's not one of those things where you wake up and you're like, oh, I got to go to work today. No, I'm glad I get to go to work today, because some people don't have that option. They could be in prison. They could be homeless on the streets. They can't get a job because they have a felony record, or, they have mental health issues that have made it almost impossible to keep a steady job. There's a lot of people that have it a lot worse. Which kind of sounds like something your mother would say, but it's true. There are people that have it better, but being envious of them doesn't really do any good for you. But being grateful for what you do have does. Because the things that you do have and the things that happen in your life will mean all the much more. Just, like I said, just be present. Just when you're spending your day, you're in a car, just take a second to just be in the moment and just be grateful for things that are around you. If you're having a fight with, let's say, your girlfriend and you're upset, just be grateful that you have a girlfriend, because most guys are single these days. That's just an example. But I'm pretty sure y'all get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So with that, as with all these videos, I always end with a tarot card. And I'm going to end with the Empress card. So the Empress card represents the planet Venus, which planet Venus is the planet of love, right? Planet of beauty, things like that. It also represents things like nature, intuition, strong femininity, which, ironically enough, I'm talking about a channel on masculinity. So when you get this card, it's good to take an introspective look at things, all right? So if you haven't bought a tarot deck at this point, I definitely would suggest buying the Rider-Waite deck as your first one, because it's going to give you all the basics of everything you need, all the resources that you need to look into what the meaning of the cards are is going to be out there. And there's going to people that have been talking about it for decades. I definitely would suggest that. I would suggest do not get the Rigardi Golden Dawn deck, and don't get the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck. Those decks are very complicated and they're hard to read. For example, I started off with the Golden Dawn deck. It's not supposed to be used in the same way as the Rider-Waite. Even the way the colors are very bland, so it's trickier for things to sink into your subconscious. Well, like I said, this will be a shorter video. So once again, I thank you for watching my content. Please do give a like, subscribe if you have any friends that might be interested. But please do share it. And then, of course, I do have my Instagram with Magick Means Masculinity. And go ahead and go pop over there if you like it. I thank you all. I hope you have a great rest of your week.